to.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the MakeCode Arcade Advanced stream. I'm Richard, at Richard on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Shannon, at Shakao on the MakeCode forum.
And I'm Vivian, at Live Cheerful on the MakeCode forum.
And yeah, I've got no plan today, guys.
Nice. The dream.
We spent too much time talking about video games before this. And didn't think to figure out something to do. So does anyone have any ideas?
What are the top 5 things in your life right now, Richard?
Define top.
Most exciting.
I guess guitar stuff, but I don't really want to do a guitar game.
That's only one thing.
Well, there's not that many things right now.
Shannon, top 2?
I feel like both of my top 2 are the video game that has been eating every single free hour. What about
you? I like sunny fall weather. That's number 1. Number 2 is I made a table. So I like sitting at it now. I eat my meals on a table instead of on the ground. Are any of these a good game mechanic, Richard?
Okay, I have an idea.
Okay.
Let's make a game about building a table, but we'll do it with all of us who know nothing about woodworking and see what Daryl likes.
Excuse
me. Vivian
Vivian
built the table. Vivian, you can only say false table facts during this stream.
Okay, but I don't know that much about building tables, so they might accidentally be true table facts.
Okay, so let's start by, I think, defining a table. Shannon, go. What are the prime characteristics of a table?
Flat on top.
All right.
Can I say a true fact or a false? Only false fact. I want to say the altitude is different than the ground altitude.
Cool. Yes. Richard.
Hmm.
I don't think you can say 4 legs. What
Yeah,
if
I don't
it's got
think
other
that's true.
extra legs?
Some
legs.
tables have like the
Yes.
2 parts and then like the ground parts.
All right, mine's going to be has legs.
I think we got it. I think this is right.
Okay. So let's think about it. I think this should be a series of mini games, basically, where you form a table. And the first one, I think, is you're going to take a block of whatever material and make it into the top of the table.
I think it should be types of wood because Daryl knows things about wood specifically.
Jen, don't you know things about trees?
I know things about trees, but that's all like before they become.
I would like to capitalize on Shannon's tree knowledge if possible.
My tree knowledge is also very shaky.
I don't know. It sounds pretty solid to me as a tree novice.
Okay, so my idea for this tabletop is we're going to have a rectangle. And there's going to be a line that's going to be pivoting up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And when you press A, it's going to slice it.
Yes.
I love this.
And I don't know how to code that just yet, but we'll figure something out.
Don't worry, we are professionals.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could do it with math. I feel like that's doable.
I think maybe what I could do is I could draw a line, and then for each transparent pixel, I could go up and make them all transparent above it, and then make them down all transparent below it.
Yes. I think you should always chop in one direction. Like, wherever the line goes, it's like always whatever's above the line that becomes the table.
I think maybe you make 2 chops. One for the
Yes.
top, one for the bottom.
Okay, I understand what you guys are talking about now, but I thought this was a completely different thing.
Oh.
And I was like, I don't think my idea is that hard to code. So this seems exciting.
All right, so we're going to create an image, and let's go ahead and make it, I don't know, 80 wide.
I think it should be a
50
square
tall.
to start with. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Okay, so you're making an image, but we don't see anything because it's transparent. And also, real quick, I'm just going to set the background color because this is going to be a fun, happy game.
Yes. Very nice.
All right. So let's go ahead and fill this image up and make it a rectangle. And so for that, we can just use this fill picture. And we need to get the image from the sprite. So let's go ahead and get that real quick. And we're just going to fill it with brown, I guess.
Shannon, classic wood color? Is this wood approved?
Yes. I would say this is a nice oak.
Yep, I think so. All right, and now we need to create another sprite, which is going to be our saw blade. So I'm going to create another sprite that's going to be the same size. And this one is going to be our saw thing. Saw preview. And for this one, we're going to leave it transparent for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a function now, which is going to be called draw saw preview.
I like that it rhymes. Almost.
Yep. I intended that when I first thought up this concept for a game. Okay, so when we draw the saw preview, the first thing we need to do is get rid of whatever we drew before. So right now, we haven't drawn anything, so it's transparent. But once we start drawing stuff, every single time we draw it, we need to clean up before the like whatever it was before. So for that, I'm going to fill with transparent. And we need to get the image once again. There you go. Now, I think that at the center of the saw preview, we should just make like a dot or something to show where the center is. And then there'll be like a line that's extending back and forth and just kind of going up and down on here. Well, let's not even do that right yet. Yeah, let's first just do the line. So we want this line to be going between the angles of, I guess, this would be, what, pi over 2? No.
Wait, I'm no longer clear on. I thought the line was going to be going horizontally, back and forth.
Oh, no, it's going to be tilting up and down.
I see. Is this but this is the top of the table.
Yeah. So I want it to be possible to make a really weird looking table.
Ah, okay.
If you mess up.
Yes.
So we want to start from the center, and we want to go from the angle of like 45 degrees to like negative 45 degrees. Mm-hmm. So that would be pi over 4 to negative pi over 4. Is that right?
Yes. I thought about it.
So we're going to be using draw line, and this math won't be too bad, I think. So we'll see. We're going to make a variable called current saw angle. And we're going to make another variable, which is saw center x and saw center y. And so the idea, I think, is you're going to be making 2 cuts, okay? You're going to make a cut on the top, and then it's going to go down a little bit, and you're going to make a second cut. And depending on how flat your is, that is how your table will be graded. Pun intended. So for the first cut, we want to be at the center, but then like slightly up. So we're going to set the saw center X and saw center Y up here. So for the saw center Y, we're going to do, well, let's do X first because that's easier. I'm going to use the width of our sprite. So you can get that inside this property access. What am I doing? Saw preview. Width. Divided by 2. And for y, we're going to do the same thing, but with the height. And we want it to be up a little bit. So we're going to subtract, I don't know, what's a good thickness for the perfect table?
In pixels?
Yeah.
10.
Okay, so we'll do -5, and then the next one will be +5.
So you're doing y instead of height.
Yep. This is why we do this together.
Teamwork.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's go ahead and just mark this dot that is our center. And for that, I'm going to go ahead and get the set color. And let me put in the saw preview image. And we just want to do the X and Y. And now we need to actually draw this. So no quarter in the jar today. Richard remembered.
I was waiting for that, but then I forgot. So if you were confused, I would have been confused too.
All right, there we go. We got our dot.
You have to put a quarter in the jar.
No!
All right, and I think the easiest way to do this is I'm actually just going to draw 2 lines from the center. One's going to be going to here, and then the other is going to be going to here. And I'm really hoping this math isn't going to be too bad. And let's go ahead and start with our current saw angle at 0. And for each of these, we are going to change our current saw angle by an amount. And I think we're just going to go, let's do like, I think I'm just going to map it 0 to 360, and then I will use the map block to convert it into an angle, if that sounds okay.
Oh.
So we're going to map our current saw angle and we don't even need to do to 360. In fact, that might be a little confusing. So we'll just do 0 to 100. And we're going to map it from, what's the low value? Can someone tell me what -pi/4 is?
Yeah, look it up.
0.785 negative.
All right, and then we want to go to positive 0.785. Okay, and instead of using this change, because I changed my mind, I'm going to use the current saw angle, and we are going to do a little bit of math. So you've probably seen us do something like this before if you were an avid watcher of our stream, but you can use the remainder to make it so it wraps back around. So I'm going to add 1 to the current saw angle, and then we are going to divide it by 100 and get the remainder. And so this will make it so that it never goes above 100. Once it gets to 99 and then 100, it'll go back to 0. And yeah, should work pretty well. All right, let's draw our line. So for both of these lines, we're going to want to start from here. And the way I'm going to draw this is it's OK if our line goes off the image. So I'm just going to be a little, fast and loose with this math. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to grab out our cosine and sine blocks. And we are going to multiply this guy, which let me go ahead and make another variable, which is actual angle. To this. And we're going to multiply cosine of this times like 100 to and add that to the saw center X, and that should project it out enough in a good direction. And I'm going to try to make this as trig light as possible. So we're going to do cosine of actual angle times. We never need to do more than like 50 should be fine. And then we want to add it to the sausage X. Whoops, I messed something up there. There we go. And let's do the same thing for the Y. We're going to change this cosine to be sine. And let's turn this into a color we can actually see.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Looks like I need to make it a bit longer. So to do that, we're going to up this 50 to be like, let's make it like 80, and that should be more than enough.
Yes, you weren't playing it fast and loose enough.
Cool. All right. So now let's do the other one in the other direction. And to do that, we just need to duplicate this block. And we can just make the angle negative. Is that right?
Yes.
Would just subtracting this do the same thing?
Give it a shot.
Oh my goodness.
Yay, we're good at math. Awesome. And I'm going to make the center part like, I don't know, dark green.
Beautiful.
All right. So now let's do the actual cut. All right. So our plan here is we're going to be, when you press A, we're going to draw this same line onto this brown image. And then we're going to erase all of the stuff above the cut. And that's kind of an expensive operation, but we only need to do it once. We don't need to do it like in a loop or anything. So hopefully it should be okay. All right, so let's go ahead and put in a button handler. And we're going to, on a button press, we're going to copy this code. And you know what? This is a perfect use case for a function. Draw a saw line. And it's going to take in a sprite, which is canvas, and it's going to take in a number, which is the color. And now we are going to take this out, and save Richard a quarter.
I thought you were implying that you could take a quarter out of the jar. I'm like, that's not how this works.
I used to have all these colors memorized, but now I need to check. And then we just need to take 2 of these color ones. All right, now on a button pressed, we're going to call this same function. But instead of passing the saw preview, we're going to pass the tabletop. And we're going to set the color to be transparent.
Yeah.
Poor table.
Yeah, this works pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we did this cut. And now we're going to go ahead and erase everything in here that is not our table. So we're going to be erasing upwards. And the way we're going to do this is we're basically going to start from the left side and then go to the right. And each time we're just going to erase all of the pixels until we get to one that's transparent and then stop. And if we do that for every row, we'll end up erasing all of every column will end up erasing all of the stuff that's above the line. I'm just going to put it inside this button handler for now. All right. So we want to use a for loop. We're doing an index from 0 to the width of our image, -1. And I'm going to rename this just to make it a little clearer. This is going to be our column. And now we're going to make another variable, which is going to be our erase row. I'm calling it erase row just because I'm going to have to make this as a normal variable. And I want to make sure that I know what it is, in the other parts of my, wait, what did I just do? Oh yeah, I put this in the wrong one. I want to make sure I know what it is in the other parts of my program. Ideally, I would use a for loop here, but it doesn't look like we have a break, and we need break to do that. So, all right. So the first thing we want to do is for each column, we want to set our erase row to be 0. And we're going to use a while loop. Who wants to describe the dangers of while loops?
Shannon, do it, because I don't know why it's dangerous.
So while loops don't really have set stopping points. So a for loop will run a fixed number of times. A while loop keeps running as long as whatever is inside that condition is true. So if you set this block to be while true, it would run forever and your game would be locked because it would always be running this code and it would never hit the, drawing to the screen part of the code.
Yep, are you ready?
No.
Break. Yeah,
there you go.
So my code will never stop now because it's always going to be doing this while true. And I should probably stop this because there we go. It might make my browser window do a little more work than it needs to. So let's change this back. And yeah, you never want to do a while true unless you know how you want to get out of it. And in blocks, you never want to do a while true, right? I think that's pretty safe to say.
Yes, we have forever loops for that instead.
True. All right. Now I just wanted the variable. Okay. So we're going to do while the tabletop image color at our column for X and our erase row for Y does not equal the color of our table, which is brown. And so we need to figure out what the color is for brown, which is 14, because it's the last one minus 1.
Wait, does not equal transparent.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you are correct. Does not equal 0, so we can just leave it like that. And we want to change our erase row by 1 so that we are going downwards. And now what we want to do is we want to set the pixel at each column erase row to be transparent. All right, let's try this out. Chop.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You can only do one chop, but.
Yeah. Well, because it hits the other transparent things.
Yes.
Mm.
Cool. You should only be able to do one chop.
Mm-hmm.
That's how woodworking is.
True. Unless
Yes.
if you're me, then you cut twice, ask once.
Okay, so now we're going to need to add a little bit more state because we're done with our first chop, and now we need to go to our second chop. And because this is just going to be a multi-stepped process, I think it's probably a good idea for us to just make like a variable, which is going to be what our current step is in the process. And I'm going to use this comment, well, I'll use a new comment, to kind of define what our numbers are. So for 0, we are doing first chop. For 1, we are doing second chop. And then we'll probably have some more steps after this, like attaching legs. Okay, So let's go ahead and create a variable. And this is going to be our table step. And we're going to start this off on 0, which is our first chop. Now, inside of this on a button pressed, we are going to put this, chop code into an if statement so that we only do this for the first chop. Because we're going to do something very similar for the second chop, but we're going to be going in the opposite direction. So if table step equals 0. What were you going to say, Vivian?
Oh, just when I bought my tabletop, the person who was selling me the wood was like, what size do you want it to be? And I told him the size, which is going to be the final size of the table. And he was like, this shouldn't be your final cut. And I'm like, but it's gonna be, because I don't have the power to cut a piece of wood this big. So it's kind of ragged, but that's fine.
Okay, so we also want to get to the next step. So we're going to change our table step by 1. And we need to change our saw Y for the next cut. So we want it to be below it, and we wanted it to be 10 wide. So we're going to add 5 to this because we're 5 away from the center right now. Wait, we're going to add 10 to it. We're going to add 10 to it.
Yes.
Let me put both these down here at the bottom. So we're going to change saw center, not X, saw center Y by 10. Chop. All right, cool. Now I can do my other chop, which, it doesn't work right now because we need to do our other chop logic. So I'm going to actually put this inside of our table step thing also and just duplicate this whole thing. Or I only want the inner part because I'm going to do an else if. And let's do our second chop. All right. So we want to, and I can get rid of this center Y because we're done chopping at this point. We want to do the same thing, but instead we're going to be starting from the bottom and going up. So the way to do that is we're going to set our erase row to be the height of the image -1. So that will be the very top. The very bottom. If you remember in arcade, Y goes down. Oh, not that. That's not what I want to change. Do height. And I want to do -1. And now, instead of changing by 1, which would be going down, we want to change it by -1, which is going up. Chop. Chop.
Oh my gosh.
Good table.
Good table.
Chop. Chop.
Yeah. This is great.
Good tables have very defined edges.
Mm-hmm. Good tables have character.
Yes. Gotta name our table too.
Also with this table, you could sit on one end and just sort of like hold your mouth open and your food would roll down towards you.
It's not that bad. Yeah, the important part is that it's the top is flat, though I guess the legs won't work super well here. All right. So I'm gonna put in some sound effects for the chop. I want big text to appear that says chop, and I want the screen to shake. Nice. So while I'm doing that, I want you guys to brainstorm what our next mini game should be. I'm thinking for maybe attaching the legs.
Mm-hmm. So this is a side view of the table, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I have an idea, but I also want to hear Shannon. My idea is we should have like 2 legs, or if we had 1 leg, I want to see like the balance of the table. So if you place the leg, you could tell if it was balanced based on like the number of pixels on your left and right side at a certain X point. So maybe you want to have a balanced table. But I don't know how that would work with 2 legs because anything is stable with 2 legs. 10% of any idea. What do you think, Shannon?
So I had the other end of it, which was like maybe a mechanic, but I don't know if it's good. So this one's kind of like a timing game, right? You want to like wait for the right time and like hit the button. And I thought it might be fun to do like a different, like an aiming game or something. So like maybe nails appear and you have to like very quickly move over and like hammer.
Oh my God.
I feel like that could work with yours. I don't know how like randomly generated nails, it doesn't fit, the reality of table making, I guess.
I don't agree, Shannon. I feel like you use whatever nails you have in your house. So random. So are you thinking like whack-a-mole style?
Yeah,
Like,
basically.
okay.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Maybe you only get like 10 nails, and then if you don't whack all of them, then that's how many you get, and your legs may or may not stay attached to the table.
Yeah, maybe if you don't hit enough nails into the leg, it falls off.
And then we can judge how stable your table is. Stable table.
The other thing is it would be fun to have a variable number of legs.
Maybe the more nails you hit, the more, or okay, there's two ways. You could accelerate the number of legs based on the nails you hit, or the less ones you hit, the more they have to go onto the table.
Whoa, perfect cut.
Oh, wow. That wasn't even intentional. I was just testing my code.
Wait, sorry, Vivian, what were you saying? The more nails you hit, the more...
Oh, yeah. So, like, if you can only get if you have 4 nails per leg and you only get 1 attached to it, then you're probably going to have an extra leg. So you would start off with only 2 legs and 8 nails, but if you miss hitting the nails for one of them, you'll have another table leg to attach to your table to use up all your nails.
Wait. What about, okay. I don't know, this might be a little involved, but say you start with a table leg sprite and you can place it somewhere on your table and you have a limited number of nails. And so you have to place the leg and then do like 2 nails or 4 nails into the leg. And if you miss, then you have fewer nails left for your other legs, and you can hit the B button to say like, I'm done adding legs to this table at any point. Does that?
So you only get a certain number of nails, but unlimited number of legs.
Yes. Okay. The legs will keep coming until you run out of nails, and then you're done.
What do you think, Richard?
Sorry, I've been testing my code.
Oh my gosh.
This is great.
I love it.
Can it appear at a random place?
Yeah, we could do that. I originally had it in the center of the screen, but I didn't like that it covered up the table. I like to immediately be able to see the results of my chop. I'm going to leave it up top for now, but we can do some more effects around it later. Okay. So what was the idea?
Shannon, you should explain it.
This could probably do with some simplification, but our thought was you start with you're controlling a table leg sprite and you place it, and then there are like nails that pop up, and you have to very quickly go over and like sort of whack-a-mole style hit the nails, and you have a limited quantity of nails, so you have like 8 nails, and if you miss, then you have to use another nail on this table leg, and if you run out of nails, that's how many legs your table has.
Okay, so you're going to be moving the hammer around with the controller, or with is it just going to be moving and you press A and it goes like bam?
I was thinking controller, but
okay. So when you hit it, I think you're going to push it down, and you need to push it all the way down into the table. And when you do that, a leg is going to shoot up and hit the other side of the nail. Is that right?
Yes, that works.
All right, cool. So what I'm doing right now is I want to make sure that we don't draw this preview after we're done chopping. So I'm going to do the table step is less than or equal to 1. We're going to do this draw saw preview bit. And the other thing we need to do is we need to get rid of it when we're done. So down here, we're going to destroy that sprite once we're done. So we'll destroy the saw preview. Chop, chop. Cool. All right, so let's get to our next step. And I think for this, we're going to, the other thing I like about this game is that it's so fast, I don't need to write any special stuff to make testing the code easier, because I can just do chop, chop.
And have a beautiful table.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to make a function. It's going to be called start hammering.
Or it could be called hammer time.
Too easy.
I'm sorry, Shannon. Your idea was rejected.
So we're going to make a new sprite of kind hammer. And the hammer. And let me draw a classic hammer.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sure this will be easy. Yeah.
That looks great.
Amazing hammer.
So let me resize the sprite a bit. Should be bigger. Should be bigger hammer.
What sound does a hammer
Try
make?
it in game real quick. Wait, what sound does?
No. We should try it. But I want to know what sound Richard's going to put when we hit the hammer instead of chop.
Bang. Bam. Pound.
That could be talking about weights.
Pounding weights.
Yeah. No, it's like this hammer weighs a pound. Pound. Oh.
Should it be bigger, or what do you think?
Yeah, a little bit bigger.
All right. So we'll make it like, let's do 30. Possible I'm making this head way too big.
It's not your fault, Richard. You only know small hammers. Ooh.
Yeah, sure. And we'll make the handle this so that it's not brown. Too much handle?
Yeah, that looks good.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, I might clean this up later, but this will be our hammer for now. Okay, so we're gonna make a 4 nails appear, I think. So there'll be a nail here, a nail here, a nail here, and a nail here. And this is where you're gonna put your legs on, okay? But you won't know which one is appearing. And you'll need to go up and actually like take the hammer. And I think I want to make it so you actually have to press down the nails, which might be a little tough, but actually I don't think it'll be that bad. So let's create a function, and we're going to call it make a nail. Okay, and we want to set our nail to have an image that looks something like a nail. So we'll make it like, I don't know, 10 wide, and I don't know, maybe like 5 wide, and like 10 tall. All right, and we need to choose a position for this nail. So for now, what I think we want to do is, let me get rid of that start hammer in. There we go. And we want to put this, going to zoom out, at the bottom of our second chop. Chop, chop. Okay, and I think the hammer needs to be like up here. So we're going to set its Y to be like 10. And we're also going to set a favorite flag of ours, which is stay in screen. And we're going to call make a nail. Okay. So we're going to make a nail, and I think the way we're going to do this right now is we're going to just choose a random position between the left and the right of the tabletop.
I like this. I think it should go like maybe 5 times, so you can choose to like let one pass by if you think this is a bad leg position.
Yeah, okay. Once we get it going, we can think about stuff like that, but I think that's a good idea. I think this is definitely going to need some tweaking. All right, so let's set the nail X to be a random range between tabletop left and tabletop right. Chop, chop. There's our nail. Chop, chop. There's our nail. Cool. So now we need to move it up so that it's at the top of this tabletop. So I'm going to set its bottom why I'm in here to be the tabletop top. Chop, chop. Oh, it's all the way up there.
Maybe you said the top to be the top. Nail top to be also tabletop top.
Well, then it would be like nailed in, right?
Only if you chopped very badly the first time.
That's true. Okay. So let's go ahead and set it to be the top for now. And I might have to figure out something clever to do for like what the range is that this can be in. Because I want to make sure it always appears above the wood, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going to worry about that for now. Let's deal with the nudging. So my idea for the nudging is going to be, we're going to have one pixel that is going to be a collision sprite at the top of this nail. And if it's overlapping with the hammer and you are like mostly above it, we will be able to push it to the bottom of the hammer. So you can move the hammer over here and then like push it down.
As a table making expert, this is very realistic.
Good.
That's our number one goal with this game, I would say. Realism and table making.
So we're going to make a new variable, and it's going to be called nail collider. And because we're running low on time, I'm just going to make it a black dot so that we don't even have to hide it. And inside of an on-game update, in fact, we only need one nail collider, so I'm going to put it up here inside of the start hammering. We are going to say that if a nail exists, or you know what, I'm just going to use my state variable that I have. So let's do this. We want to check our table step, and we want to check if our table step is 2, which will mean we are in the hammer-in stage. Then we want to set this position of this collider to be the top and center of the nail. So we'll grab this position to nail collider. And we just want to get the X and Y, or the X and top. Chop, chop. Cool, it's right there. Looks like it needs to be top +1, but I like it that we can see it for now, so I'm just gonna leave it there. All right, so let's do our overlaps now. We're going to go ahead and drag out an overlaps block, and the first one is going to be our hammer, and the second one is going to be our nail collider. And what we're going to do is we're going to, right now, we're just going to make it easy. I think what we're going to do is we're going to set the top of the nail to be the bottom of the hammer. Oh, no, we don't want to do the other sprite. We want to do the nail.
Yeah.
Cool. And so we want to make it so that it keeps going until the nail collider overlaps with the tabletop. So we're going to do a second one here, and we're going to use the tabletop kind for the first one, nail collider for the second. And when that happens, we are going to call make nail to make the next one. Weird. Why did you do that? Oh, I know why I did that. Oh no.
Oh no.
This is a good table.
Yeah, we got the idea.
Mhm.
All right. So we have a problem right now, which is our nails sometimes appear where they shouldn't be. But I just thought of a really hacky solution to solve this. And what we're going to do is we are going to, before we set the position of the nail, we should be able to tell if it's colliding with the tabletop or not, because the tabletop is on our center line. So as long as it's colliding with our table, that means it's a good nail. Otherwise, we need to try again. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to grab an if. We're going to grab an is overlapping. Does that make sense?
Yes. And it only collides if there's like brown pixels, no transparent ones, right?
Yeah.
I see.
Our
Yeah.
collisions are pixel perfect. Okay, so we're going to do this. If nail, and we want to do a not.
So will this work if the table is like very skewed?
Yeah, because I think it'll always have the center line. It'll always have the center line up to the center. So
Wait, isn't this like a position thing? So like you want to check after you've picked the random or
I think this will work, but
oh
we'll
yeah,
try it.
do it. Should try it, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do an else in here. If it's an else, we'll do this. Otherwise, we are going to destroy our nail and try again. I'm worried. Usually when Shannon says I'm wrong, I am wrong.
I'm worried it won't work if it's a very diagonal table, like a parallel diagonal.
Like that?
Mm-hmm. But maybe it's fine. Is it because the nail is tall?
Interesting. Why did that work? Oh, because we need to set the X first.
Yeah. But so I think this will always make it valid, but it won't go over the low parts of the table.
Yes, I think that's correct. But it's better than the other way,
That's true.
so we're going to
Yes.
leave it for now.
Cool.
Cool. All right, let's make a hammer noise. So when we do this, we're going to call our function, which is make action text, and it's going to be, what's a hammer noise, Vivian?
Bang! Thwack! Doom.
Thwack.
The camera shake is so good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we need a variable, which I think is going to be nail count. And we're going to change our nail count by 1. And once our nail count reaches 4, we're going to say, I want to do legs also, but we're kind of out of time now. So I'm just going to, for now, do,
You could very quickly just spawn a rectangle sprite.
well, so what I like is that you do the nail, and then you have to line up the legs and press A to launch them up.
Oh, I see. Beautiful.
So we'll do this change nail count by 1, and we'll put this in here. And then at the end of this, we'll do a game over. And while I would love to come back and finish this game tomorrow, it'll be up to whoever's streaming.
Game over win.
Oh no.
You're correct. Okay, yeah, so right now let's go ahead and spawn some legs, I think. I think that is a good idea. So I'm going to loop over all of the nails and I think make another sprite, which is going to be the table leg. And while I'm doing this, let's just do outros.
Mm.
So I'm Richard, at Richard on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Shannon, at Shakao on the MakeCode forums.
And I'm Vivian, at Live Cheerful on the MakeCode forums.
And yeah, this has been our table making game, which we need a name for.
My hat in the ring is stable table.
Oh man, yes.
That is pretty good.
Thank you. Not easy.
Stability.
Okay, we're gonna make this like 4 wide and like 30 tall. I'm just gonna fill it with brown.
Oak, you mean?
Oak, correct. And we are gonna set the top to be the bottom and the X to be the same. And I think I have enough time to finish this if I don't keep dragging the wrong block.
Got this.
Yes, you're good. Wait. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I want to do top.
Yeah.
Okay, and it'll say, that's a table, and then the legs will appear, and you get 1 second to admire your table.
Okay. This is great.
Should it say that's the table after the legs come together?
Yeah, okay.
I think I should pause a little more than a second. I just want to look at the table.
Chop. Chop.
Right in the middle.
Beautiful.
Incredible.
All right. This has been, yeah, look forward to our Steam release. Once again, thank you for joining us.